And welcome back to GCSA TV Live from San Diego, presented in partnership with LebanonTurf. This is a part of our continuing coverage of the 2019 Golf Industry Show. My name's Chris Gray, and I'll be your host for this segment. Joining me on stage is Justin Appel. He's the Executive Director of the Golf Course Builders Association of America. Justin, thanks for taking some time out of your schedule to join me on stage.
Absolutely. Thrilled to be here.
Fantastic. Can you tell me a little bit about what the association is?
Sure.
Talk to me about kind of what the overall mission is for you, the members in the industry.
Absolutely. So the Golf Course Builders Association, we represent, just as it is in the name, the golf course construction companies that are out there building and renovating the golf courses. Now, what our name doesn't speak to, but it's just as large of a segment of our membership, are the suppliers, the consultants, designers, architects that also go into the construction process. Our big mission is to network these folks together to improve their skill with education and connecting them with superintendents, owners, and the entire industry.
Well, that's good. You know, I personally worked for a member of the Builders Association for many, many years, and I know that there was a lot of philanthropic activities that you guys do. I mean, even here at the show, you have the raffle for the Harley Davidson you've done for a number of years. Talk to me about, like, what are we trying to accomplish with that? What does the raffle go to? What are you looking to do? Absolutely.
So over 25 years ago, the members of our association, they wanted to give back. They wanted to do something for the industry that treated them so well. And so what they created was kind of a unique program at the time, but they called it Sticks for Kids. And what they were doing, taking used golf clubs and modifying those and donating them to facilities to be used for children. Really underprivileged. They wanted to introduce the game of golf to everybody. No one should be left behind. That program has evolved significantly. We've started doing like you see here in our booth, Harley Davidson raffle. We do some fundraising throughout the year at our different events. But today we have a partnership with the LPGA, USGA Girls Golf. And what we'll have by the end of this year is 200 sites that we've equipped those instructors with golf clubs. And those instructors are telling us a lot of times kids don't sign up or are unable to play or end up having to share out of a bag. And so we've been able to kind of bridge that gap. Certainly the equipment is something that we can provide, knowing that through the LPGA and the PGA, there's quality instruction that's available. We can provide the equipment, let's let them do the instruction. They don't want us teaching golf. But no, with our fundraising, we're able to feed that program. We're actually expanding it a little bit into some high school programs because we're finding a number of golf teams have the same issue. So if we can solve that issue, I think we can help grow the game. And over 25 years, we've impacted just shy of 500,000 kids with this endeavor. That's amazing. I know that every year, I throw $20 in trying to win, and I haven't quite rode the Harley away yet. So again, another year. If you don't win it this year, we'll sell you another ticket next year. Well, fantastic. You know, I'm glad to hear that. Question, and this really kind of goes down to the heart of what your organization is. I mean, our economy, the golf industry is not what we would consider growing like it was in years past. That's right. How is that having an impact on what your organization is? Because you build golf courses, and we're not really building golf courses anymore. Can you kind of tell me how that's having an impact on your members? It's had a significant impact. I mean, just like the entire industry, when the construction and new course openings went down, everybody felt that pain. Now, keep in mind, a number of golf courses got built in the boom times, in the mid-90s, all the way up through 2008. Now, those golf courses, they wear out. Even built well, designed well, they still need renovation work. And with all the technologies that are available today, a lot of these course owners and operators see an opportunity to renovate so they can be more efficient and effective. And so our members have really gone from new construction to full renovations. And so that has been a significant opportunity and has kept them, that has allowed for the survival mode until or if golf construction ever comes back to those boom times. So what do you think is the optimistic way of looking towards the future, knowing that, I mean, we went through a spell where we were building and building, and you've got people out there now that say that we've built too much and we need to contract to that. Yeah. Whatever that number happens to be, is it 10%, is it 15%? I mean, how do you feel that your members are
Are they optimistic? Do they think that they're going to need to keep trying to find different ways to stay viable? How's that working for them?
I think they realize that, again, in the mid-90s, and when you were building 400 new courses a year, those were tied to the housing market. And so when the housing market was booming, golf courses were booming.
Yep.
I think today they can look back at that and say, we're going to look at other indicators before we want to get excited about new golf construction coming back. We know from a lot of the work done by the other allies that there is a significant number of players that are interested in the game. So bottom line, we want to solve that supply-demand curve. No sense building a bunch of golf courses just to have something aesthetic to look at in a golf development. Let's have players out there to take advantage of those courses. So of the courses that are out there and the number of players, let's increase the number of players so there's a need for more golf courses. But until that happens, there's no sense of trying to dilute the market again with another run of new courses.
Yeah, and like I say, we're obviously not building at the pace we were. There are still courses that are being built. Obviously, they're being well outpaced by the number of courses that close each year for that one.
Sure.
And so, I mean, you'd mentioned about doing some renovation work and trying to keep the golf courses relevant, efficient. Other than that, what else are they trying to do in order to remain viable? Because we've got full-grown businesses that were built upon building courses that now have to kind of change their business model. Have they found any other niche markets that they can kind of help remain financially viable as a company?
Absolutely. With the increase of in the sport field market, whether soccer fields, baseball fields, athletic fields, they've really diversified because, they don't like to say it, because it's more of a flat and more of a simplistic build in a lot of ways compared to doing a complete golf course. But the fact is, it's still the same products. It's still a lot of the same processes with drainage, irrigation. And so they're able to take the skill set that they've learned building in some of the most extreme conditions and making those technologies available in whether it's a soccer field or a baseball field or athletic complex. They've been able to find that niche.
It's still construction. It's just so much, rather than the golf course side, we're trying to move over into some of the other industries that are still continue to grow or to have those opportunities. And I think that the skill set that your members have actually worked very well for that because, again, it's dirt. It's all the same things you were just mentioning that have the same elements, only now instead of hitting a little white ball, you might be hitting a soccer ball or hitting...
Yep, absolutely. Whether it's agronomy or the products going in the ground, the technologies that have been learned on golf courses first and then get deployed out to the other segments of the industry, even all the way to residential. So they can take that knowledge and incorporate it into these other areas of construction.
How has your organization been affected? I mean, have you been losing members since the big downturn? Has it been, what's kind of the state of your organization being focused primarily on golf, but obviously now starting to span out? How has it been impacted by this?
It absolutely has been impacted. We saw a significant attrition of our membership, whether it was the supplier side or even the contractor side. But I think the big difference today than where we were 10 years ago and 15 years ago is when there was a lot of golf construction happening, not that anyone could build a golf course, but you did have a lot of companies out there doing it. So today, it's really quality over the quantity because the construction companies that have survived are the ones that had diversified themselves enough and had planned for the rainy day, and so they're back full-blown, ready to do these projects. And so yeah, we're slowly growing back again as people, and the market does need more construction companies, so we are seeing it growing again, but no, we want to be cognizant of the fact that that there's only so much renovation that's going to be out there, and with that there's going to be only so many contractors. Our focus now has been programming for them with education and networking events like this. And so what we've seen where we've lost membership as an association, looking at the bottom line, we've converted, and with meetings and events and other opportunities, we're seeing an increased presence from them. So again, there's a lot more quality over quantity right now.
Well, and that's good. And your members have a unique perspective because they're literally down in the ground.
Absolutely.
And they've been working with this. Do they feel optimistic about where we're going to be in the next 5 to 10 years, or do they think it's going to be more of the same? And how are they feeling about it? Because this is their livelihood.
I think they're scared right now, honestly, because yesterday was our general membership meeting, and I took them through I had a meeting with some other executives of golf 2 weeks ago, and it was a great event because we talked about what's good in our industry and what's bad. And the good is that there are so many diversified organizations that make up golf. Builders, owners, architects, club managers, goes on and on and on. And then you have all these wonderful corporate sponsors, all part of this group that want to improve the game. So that's the good news. But that's also the bad news. We're so fragmented. Yeah. And so I told my members, we have to champion and realize that we all have, as an industry, to come together. So they need to be working with their local chapters of superintendents. They need to be attending events like this. We need to come together as an industry to survive this storm. Otherwise, that optimism could deflate pretty quickly. If we don't realize that the next generation of golfers is going to be different, meaning whether it's the rules, the surfaces, the equipment, when they play, how they play, what they want to see when they play, we need to be aware of that and be ready to adjust to it, or we might have learned lessons that other sports that are no longer, I mean, boxing was the best example. If we don't adjust to the sport, we could really cause self-inflicting damage.
You know, along those same lines, when you're talking about making these adjustments, and you referenced earlier about the renovations, I mean, are we seeing more of an uptick in renovations now? Because obviously they're trying to get a competitive advantage. They're trying to do things more cost effectively. Is this something that you're seeing more of a trend? Is that people will do renovations maybe more now because of the way the economy is?
Absolutely. We've seen this for the second year now, where renovations it is booming. And a lot of it, I think, is caused by deferred maintenance. I think during the down times, golf courses were already starting to have that pain of needing to make some modifications, and they just deferred that until the economy came back. And now that the economy has bounced back enough, and courses are willing to invest, it's really, in fact, I visit with some of our companies that have really more work than they can do right now. And a good problem to have, right? But we also have other industry issues that are affecting us. The availability of labor and limited resources. That's causing our members to only be able to take on just so much work. So it's going to balance, but definitely we have some challenges ahead of us. And again, those same issues affect the entire golf industry, especially when it comes to, say, labor. So again, this is where we need to not be fragmented. We all need to work together. We all have the same pains. Let's collaborate and try to solve this together.
Yeah, and I think you're hitting on kind of a core issue that's dealing with more than just what your organization is compared with all the rest of them. It's an industry problem, and the same problems are being faced with your organization, with the GCSAA, with, I mean, everyone's got the same basic problem in dealing with how do we deal with the fact that the economy that was so bursting and so fabulous for so long all of a sudden took such a dramatic downturn. It changed the way, and a lot of people simply don't fit in there anymore, and that's the difficult part. So I respect the fact that you guys are really trying to diversify out and finding ways to be really viable in an economy that makes it very difficult. And for that,
absolutely, thank you. I think our members saw really what the root causes of those problems were. So we are preparing ourselves that if we continue into a recession or would have another recession, this time we don't have self-inflicted those damages.
That's great. Listen, I appreciate your time. We're running out. I appreciate you coming up here talking to me about that thing. Until next segment, I'm Chris Gray, and we will see you next time on the GCSAA Live here from San Diego as part of our coverage of the Golf Industry Show. Thanks.